Hello guys and welcome to today's video. My name is Max and we're going to go ahead and get things started with revisiting an old friend here, the KJW double barrel sawed-off shotgun. The reason why I wanted to revisit this particular gun, first of all, it's one of those more unique, obscure airsoft guns that are out there. This one's definitely one of my favorites, but there has just been a huge issue that's really made me dislike this gun. The manufacturer is KJW, and honestly, I wish they would have took a little more time into the design of this particular gun. You probably know where I'm going with this and as to what I'm going to be talking about. The crappy shells. These are the infamous OEM shells that come with the shotgun. So I'm just going to talk about real quick kind of the issue I'm having, what I've done to troubleshoot the issue, and honestly just maybe some kind of suggestion for this gun that you can take as a takeaway from today's video. We'll get right into it. I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Alright, so if you guys remember, again, for those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for at least the last 6 months to a year, I did make a full-on detailed review of this airsoft gun. I've also done an unboxing as well, so I will actually include all 3 of those videos: unboxing, full verbal review, and shooting demonstration. I typically do 3 videos when it comes to reviewing products, again, just so everything is basically documented. So again, I got a chance to review the shotgun itself, talked about the pros and cons, but now it's one of the negative things that's, peering its head every time I use this particular airsoft gun. The whole construction of the gun is phenomenal, in my opinion. It's beautifully made and it's just amazing. Cosmetics, everything is beautiful, but now when it comes to functionality, this is where the ball, I feel, was dropped during the design. So first of all, nothing with the actual shotgun itself is the issue, but the issue itself is lying in the shotgun shells that this shotgun comes with. It even ended up being an issue where I needed to get more of these in order for me to actually use the shotgun. It's kind of disappointing that you need to buy more of something in order to use what you already have. So that's kind of where I was disappointed. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably in the same boat or have come across this issue when owning the shotgun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what happens with these shells and essentially where the leak starts. Now, I've tried everything that I can think of, and I still have not been successful. So this is kind of not so much of like a rant video on this item, but again, just kind of showcasing the troublesome portion of this gun and why it's just unfortunate that such a greatly designed gun lacks because of these little shells. So let me show you up close these shells, and I'll show you exactly what happens and how it leaks. So again, I have 4 of them. The sad thing is when I got the gun, 1 out of the 2 shells worked. So that didn't really do me much good for a double barrel. So I ended up buying 2 more for me, like 30 bucks or so, I think is what I paid. And those were okay. Those worked fine. Now I came to try to use it, and they all went bad. Even the new shells that I have, they went bad. So for those of you that have never owned a KJW double barrel shotgun, the filling of the actual shell itself is quite simple. You would take off the top part, and then from there you basically have your valve where you can go ahead and insert your gas. Now what happens is there is a small rubber seal in this valve to keep the gas from shooting out of this tip. And then you also have a little seal around the brass tip there, again, to keep the gas pretty much shooting through that little hole to propel the BBs. So it keeps everything kind of together, essentially. Now, the issue is these OEM seals tend to dry in, like, I don't know exactly how long, but I would say it's probably like either they used very bad seals at the at the factory, or it's just, you know, if these haven't been ordered for a while, sitting on a shelf at a store or something, it just ends up drying out that way. It's kind of hard to exactly guess how the issue starts, but again, it's definitely not a good one. So you can see the back of the shell has a little pin, pretty much where when you pull the trigger, you can see the little thing come out there. That's what ends up hitting that valve, releasing the gas and firing the BBs. So again, you can see the valve. I try to push it in with my nail. It goes in a little bit. And then you can even see that the valve kind of moves too. I'm going to use a pen to kind of poke this a little bit. But do you see how the little seal is exposed right there? So now, like, I come into an issue where it even does this sometimes, where it just stays stuck. And basically it's showing that it's like open, essentially. So you'd have to like manually push it in for it to actually go back to the resting position. So now I have my green gas canister here. When it comes to filling this, you're going to just notice it's going to spray out everywhere. So you can kind of hear it. I'll just show you again. The other thing I'm feeling it too is underneath the rim. So if you haven't had a chance to dissect these things like I have, they actually come apart pretty simple. You actually unscrew the bottom, and then you get this whole intricate looking mechanism. It's not really intricate, but again, here's the housing, here's that little spring, and there's the valve stem itself. So here's where the design flaw comes into place, because let me adjust my camera a little bit better so it's not okay. Well, anyway, so you can see that there's two little O-rings on the bottom and one at the top. So the issue is that these O-rings end up drying out, or this one ends up drying out, therefore expelling the gas in opposite directions. So in my case here, it was coming out of the bottom, so it's actually going to be these two guys here that are dried up. So I went through the full precaution of lubricating them with thicker silicone oil, or I've done the spray as well. I've done everything. I've even went to Menards or Home Depot, picked up a set of small O-rings. That didn't even fix it. These O-rings are just very uniquely sized because, again, they need to fit through this little housing, and they have to, again, slide in and out with ease so it doesn't drag too much. So, again, this is kind of where the design flaw comes into play when it comes to trying to fill this thing up when it has that gas problem where it leaks. So I'll even show you all the other ones. I mean, all the other ones are tight. They're super tight on the bottom. So it's not an issue of, oh, I didn't tighten it too much. It's, or I didn't tighten it enough, I'm sorry. It's just just poor design. So you can hear it's coming out. This one's not as bad. So this one still kind of keeps some of it, but there's a definite leak, so I use my pen, I can blow it through. Again, it's not ideal. You don't want any gas leaking out at all. So let's try a third one. This one didn't even try to hold it in. Yeah. It's becoming a little too sketchy for me to keep doing that, so again, good example. Let's try the fourth one. So, you know, imagine paying, you know, hundreds of dollars for a gun and getting these crappy things to come with it. And then on top of it, in my situation, I ended up buying 2 additional shells pretty much to deal with the same thing, not even 6 months later, you know. So that's just kind of my more so of like a progress video of how things are going with the KJW. And as you saw there, it's not going great at all. This very awesome looking gun is basically, it's non-usable at the moment. And I know that there is alternative methods and alternative shells that you basically have to custom fabricate that can work with this gun. I've seen some YouTube videos out there, and I mean, it just looks too convoluted for me to even try. There's people ordering like barrel inserts, and then basically they're using the cam, or the, I forgot the name of the shotgun that basically uses like a hollow shell, pack it with BBs, put the little top over the BBs to keep them from falling out, and it actually shoots like a shotgun. People have used those shells before, and again, it's just a very, you know, first of all, you're working with a unique design with these little prongs here. So, again, it's just very tricky to try to create some kind of alternative shell for this particular shotgun. I guess my cry for help to you guys is, if you have any suggestions or methods on how I can make this thing operational again, I will definitely do a shout out for you, and I will feature you on my video if I have success with your idea, because I really love this gun and I really wish that there was some kind of way to get this thing to work again. I don't know what it takes at this point, but again, if you guys have suggestions, I will greatly appreciate it. But again, that's kind of my dilemma with the shotgun. All right, well, so again, we got a chance to see my problem here. I kind of wish this video ended more on a positive note, but again, I'm sure there's many of you that are also dealing with a similar issue if you do have this gun. I just think that this is going to be something where just more designs need to be implemented and tested again to ensure the version 2 or version 3 or whatever in the future comes out a little bit better than what I ended up buying here. Yeah, you know, that's everything I really had for today's video. Again, this is kind of just my point of view of what I've been dealing with these shells, because this was pretty much happening from day one. You know, I've already tried contacting e-bike about it. There's just not a whole lot that really could be done for these kind of things, you know, so I wasn't really losing any sleep over it or anything like that. But again, when it comes to having to buy more shells and they pretty much end up going bad after a couple months, this gun's shelf life is pretty terrible, because you're not going to be using this gun every single moment of the day. So, you know, it's something that needs to be, again, thought into the product first before they just release things quantity-wise. But anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, check out the links of my unboxing, review, and shooting demo of the KJW double barrel shotgun. Again, if you have suggestions, I will give you a massive shout out. If, again, your suggestion helps me fix this thing, I'll do a video on it, and I'll shout you out in that video as well for the amazing tip. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching.